Good morning, citizens of America. This is the U.S. Citizen Journal, Daily Brief for June 19, 2025 AD. I'm here to bring you the latest news from around the world. Let's dive into today's top stories. Flash. The State Department will review the social media accounts of foreign student, visa applicants, and applicants will be expected to have all social media profiles set to public. Story 1. Reports. Trump approves Iran strike plans, but delays action as MAGA coalition fractures over military intervention. Washington. President Donald Trump has privately approved military strike plans against Iran's nuclear facilities, but is delaying action to assess Tehran's willingness to abandon its nuclear program, according to reports from the Wall Street Journal and political citing sources familiar with White House deliberations. The president, who told reporters, "I may do it, I may not do it," views potential military action as both a strategic imperative and a legacy-defining moment in his final term. With one senior official telling Politico that Trump sees a window to do something that is something he's always believed is right and is important for the world, that will likely never exist again. The prospect of U.S. military involvement has exposed deep divisions within Trump's coalition, with prominent MAGA figures like Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene denouncing potential strikes as a betrayal of America First principles, posting on X that anyone slobbering for the U.S. to become fully involved in the Israel/Iran war is not America First/MAGA, according to the New York Times. A Washington Post poll shows Americans oppose military action by nearly 2-1, with 45% against strikes compared to 25% in support. Meanwhile, ongoing hostilities between Israel and Iran, including an Iranian missile strike on an Israeli hospital and Israeli attacks on Iran's Arak heavy water reactor and Natanz nuclear site, per the Wall Street Journal, have intensified pressure for American involvement, though analysts suggest time may favor Trump's position as Israel continues degrading Iranian capabilities without direct U.S. engagement. Story 2. Medicare, Social Security Trust Funds face earlier depletion dates, new report warns. Washington, AP. The go-broke dates for Medicare and Social Security's trust funds have moved up as rising healthcare costs and new legislation affecting Social Security benefits have contributed to earlier projected depletion dates, according to an annual report released Wednesday. The go-broke date, or the date at which the programs will no longer have enough funds to pay full benefits, was pushed up to 2033 for Medicare's Hospital Insurance Trust Fund, according to the new report from the program's trustees. Last year's report put the go-broke date at 2036. Meanwhile, Social Security's trust funds, which cover old age and disability recipients, will be unable to pay full benefits beginning in 2034, instead of last year's estimate of 2035. After that point, Social Security would only be able to pay 81% of benefits. Story 3. LA's film industry ails as productions seek cheaper locales. Los Angeles. If budget were all that mattered, Way of the Warrior Kid, in which a former Navy SEAL helps his nephew deal with bullies, would likely have been filmed in Atlanta, Canada, Australia, or Britain. But when producer Ben Everard showed the script to Chris Pratt, the star of Guardians of the Galaxy and Parks and Recreation, Everard said he agreed to do it on one condition: "You gotta shoot it in LA because my wife's pregnant." Everard counts that as a victory for his adopted hometown, and a warning. Increasingly, raw economics favors shooting projects somewhere else. For Los Angeles to get the nod often takes something idiosyncratic, like a star with an expectant wife. The 41-year-old Everard has made 5 of his 7 films here, and in 3, it was because of the star's family. If Los Angeles County were a country, its economy would be among the world's 20 largest. But that economy is ailing. Payroll employment is 1% lower than at the end of 2019, before the pandemic. It's up 5% for the country as a whole. A big reason is the malaise in film and video production. Los Angeles County employment in motion picture and sound recording is down 10% since 2019, according to Labor Department data. The number of shoot days across all types of production, including feature films, television, and commercials, fell for the third straight year in 2024, according to Film LA, a nonprofit that coordinates film permitting in most of the county. California's share of global projects fell to 18% in 2023, from 23% in 2021, Film LA has found. Story 4. Supreme Court cedes control of youth, transgender treatments to states. The Supreme Court on Wednesday handed to the states control over whether young people should have access to treatments for gender transition, preserving a patchwork of rules that has emerged across the country over the last 5 years. Since 2021, states have split nearly evenly over whether to prohibit or protect access to puberty blockers and hormone therapies for transgender adolescents. Like the Supreme Court's 2022 decision in Dobbs v. Jackson Women's Health Organization, which made access to abortion dependent on which state a person lives in, the decision this week is likely to deepen the state-by-state divide over medical care for young trans people. Just as some states enacted more restrictive abortion limits after Dobbs, states that have enacted partial or total bans on transition treatment for minors may be emboldened to expand on them or enforce them more aggressively. And just as some states have enshrined reproductive rights in their constitutions, states that have enacted legal shields for healthcare workers who provide gender transition treatments may push for more comprehensive protections. Story 5. Juneteenth celebrations face uncertainty amid shifting corporate, political winds. Plano, Illinois, made national news in 2021 when it designated Juneteenth a holiday before the state or federal government. But this year, Plano's 5th annual celebration is canceled. Organizer Jamal Williams said he called off the event after local business sponsors in the 13,000-person town declined to commit, saying they feared losing customers. A downsized version is being planned at a church in the town next door. The sponsors were starting to get caught in the middle of, "If you support this, we won't support your business," said Williams, 54, a respiratory therapist who recently finished an 8-year stint on the city council. "We just decided that we have to take a break." A lot has changed in the short life of America's newest federal holiday. Employers are increasingly giving workers the day off on June 19th, the anniversary marking the end of slavery in the U.S. But for company executives, university officials, and government leaders, decisions about how, or whether, to celebrate the holiday feel increasingly fraught. Shareholders have targeted corporate diversity efforts. Universities and companies have revamped programs offering opportunities to Black Americans in an effort to avoid legal entanglements or sanctions from President Trump. Goldman Sachs has scrubbed references to race from some of its diversity initiatives. Historical note: June 19, 1865, abolition of slavery announced in Texas on Juneteenth. In what is now known as Juneteenth, on June 19, 1865, Union soldiers arrive in Galveston, Texas, with news that the Civil War is over and slavery in the United States is abolished. A mix of June and 19th, Juneteenth has become a day to commemorate the end of slavery in America. Despite the fact that President Abraham Lincoln's Emancipation Proclamation was issued more than 2 years earlier on January 1, 1863, a lack of Union troops in the rebel state of Texas made the order difficult to enforce. Some historians blame the lapse in time on poor communication in that era, while others believe Texan slave owners purposely withheld the information. That's all for today's brief. Join us again tomorrow for more news and updates. This show was produced by Greg Loving, wishing you a great day ahead. Please follow and rate us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. It helps other listeners find us. Stay informed and ad astra per aspera.